If you're not a church person, you may not understand it. You can watch and see if you get something out of it. But let me tell you this. A lot of you guys that are under these pastors and these reformations, you don't need what you are calling covering. What you need is someone who is effective, someone who sees you, someone who is very clear about your calling and the work that you're doing. It's terribly unique. It's totally different than those that came before you. Hell, if you dig up some of the ancestors, they may have a problem with it because some of them were so wrapped up in Western Christianity that they don't have a clue and can't even imagine how you're doing what you're doing that's so differently and so different and so brand new and so fresh. So I want to say this to those of you that are now having to publicly separate from these people that you have went under because you felt like you needed a covering. You needed somebody to confirm you, to affirm that that thing is on you. You're supposed to be doing it. So you went and reached for the last move of God, some of these old heads that we used to watch on TV who are not what God is doing. They are what God did. You gotta let them stay where they're at, and you don't need a confirmation. You're probably going to find out that you're subjecting yourself to some kind of spiritual manipulation, some kind of spiritual disregard, or some kind of even financial manipulation when you run to these people, because they only see you as somebody who needs to be up under them. They don't really get who you are. And let me say this, to these black people that are up under white leadership, even in white churches, but I'm talking about those pastors who have black movements, and you pull them up under these white leaders that are the head of reformations. That is improper. Your blackness right now should be causing you to run out of that organization. You must remember that our churches were first on white-owned plantations. So you have to run out of that kind of going on and find something else that you need to be connected to, a black man somewhere. I know what some of you guys are going to say, we don't see no color. It's improper for you as a black person to see no color. It's improper for you as a white person to see no color. That is a cop-out. Anybody that's well educated understand what you're trying to say, but what you're saying ain't it. Because that is really something that white people have used to really trick us and get us to dance a certain kind of way and just ignore and put our blackness away. So you need to see color. Color is extremely important for you to see. You need to see color every time you look in your mirror. You need to see color. Whenever you're doing business, you need to see color so you can see how to move and see how you may have to acquiesce and dance with some things. So that is absolutely crazy to even say that. But let me get back to those of you that's run up on these people for covering. You do not need covering, you need affirmation. And I know, and I understand what covering is when we're in certain situations. I get that, and you do need some kind of leadership coach, a person, a prophet. But this thing where you gotta have a pastor, and if you are head over a church, you gotta have a covering, I do not agree with that, because it's causing a whole lot of people. Me and my mentor got in this conversation because he said, Larry, I'm your covering. Yeah, you my covering. I mean, you can call it whatever you want to call it. You the person that God sent me to, and that is now my personal prophet, my spiritual father, and my coach. You can call it whatever you want to call it. I'm not calling it covering, because I understand what this term has done to a whole lot of people, and it's caused a whole lot of people a lot of injury. So being that I'm 46 years old and I have to talk to certain audiences, I'm not using that term covering. Has my mentor covered me in certain situations? Yes, he has, meaning I didn't know what to do, or I was going to do it a certain kind of way. He says something and I said, you know what, you're exactly right, let me follow with that. So he covered me for making a stupid, dumb mistake. He hasn't had to cover me yet because of something that I have presently in my life done wrong. But if I did, I think he will cover me, not cover it up for me, but he will cover me, meaning he will be there in that place to help me do what it is. And that's what a lot of you guys are looking for, and you are connecting to these folk that do not have the wisdom. Hell, they don't even have the coverage to even support you at all. They do not have the bandwidth, the spiritual intelligence to support you. They just do not have it. So quit telling yourself that thing that you love fathering and you love mothering. That's probably coming out of your fracture. More than likely, it's probably coming out of some trauma that you have not healed, something you got going on. Because the reality is, you need time in the presence of God. You need to really understand what it is that you're supposed to be doing in the earth. Get real clear and confident about that. And then at that point, when you really get to a place where you feel like you don't need a covering, you don't need a father, you don't need a mother. For those of you that are listening to me now, that feel like you do, when you get to where you don't feel like you need it anymore, that's when you're ready for your teacher, your personal prophet, whatever that person is going to be that come into your life to help you, expand and go to the next level. Because this whole covering and father and mother thing done fucked up a whole lot of people. And it's really, really, really irritating to me. I just saw a black woman and her husband. Somebody sent me her post. I'm not going to call her name. I don't really know her, but we've talked back and forth on the internet. She was up under a white pastor. I have covered this white pastor I don't know how many times, talking about his racism, and he's practically a drunk, and he's drunk on power and moving a certain kind of way. Why you got your black hind end there up on that white man? And he's not even an exceptional white person. It's spiritually or financially or mentally or emotionally. You can do better. You can do way better. Go find you somebody else. When it comes to choosing a mentor, you need to look at who they are. Number one, do they love people? Number two, what have they done that you aspire to do that they have been successful at, and what can they teach you? You need to ask some questions. And then if that person that you're looking to for mentorship, they minister their life or who they are, don't resemble you, then it's nobody that you need to be fooling up with, no way. Then how they don't understand your experience, black man, and you pull up on this white man for cover? That is stupid to me. That makes no sense. And I need for y'all to understand this. Where we're at right now in our life in the black community, because some white people may be listening to this, Larry, you sound like you're prejudiced. I am not prejudiced. However, I'm very, very, very predictive. And I can see what is going to happen if you, black man, black woman, have pulled your whatever up under a particular whiteness, you're going to have a problem. And in this instance, I'm even talking about white skin, because the white skin has a different experience than you. So that's not going to work. It's not going to work, and it's not safe. And I say the exact same thing to women, to same gender loving people. You should not look to somebody as a mentor, as a covering, as a leader, and you do not see yourself represented in the highest position and function in that particular ministry. If you don't see a picture of yourself in the decision-making aspect of that ministry, it's not safe for you. Run out of there. What the hell is you there? And I know I may sound like I'm jumping around here and there, but this is fresh off the dome, and it irritates me, and it gets on my nerves. So you don't need to hear God or check your spirit. Nigga, I'm telling you, if you black, keep your black ass up under black counsel. Keep your black hind end up under black spirituality, because that's unique. I need for you to understand that is not it. There can be a consultant with you horizontally, your brother, your friend, but you are not putting your blackness under white skin, or definitely not whiteness. Don't do it. And I don't care what you call me. I mean, y'all can't, I'm impossible to be canceled. So I don't care how you say it about what I'm saying. But do not do it up under no circumstances. If that leader does not fully 100% understand who and what you are, I'm not talking about the spiritual revelation, but experiential. You need to see yourself in somebody that's receiving your teruma. You need to see yourself in somebody that's receiving your ministry's tithe. You need to see yourself, somebody who's receiving your business tithe. You need to see yourself. And if you don't want a future in what they are in, you shouldn't be giving them your teruma, your tithe. I'm just trying to tell y'all. I know this may sound a little certain kind of way, but I don't even care. At least I be told you. Don't do that. You don't have, let me say it like this, you don't have to do that no more. Maybe there was a time you had no choice. But you're not in that space no more. Did you hear what I said? All right.